What's up, guys? This is Corbett, producer and creator of the Melody app, and this is how I made.
Keep your eyes open, keep you on your toes. You know the ones that wanna keep you where you've been before. But I can't go, no, I can't go. And whoa, sometimes I need a check. Not the sneakers, but the ones that make you watch your step.
Cut 'Em In was dope to work on. It was another one that I actually got to be present for the creation of the song. Like, this is right before COVID started, like the shutdown and everything. I had made the original loop back in like 2016 or something like that. Like, it was one of my first attempts at when I started realizing, like, oh, I gotta think about making samples and loops and different things like that. This was in one of my first packs, so I was surprised when it came back up. I had flown out to LA and had a bunch of sessions on the agenda with Anderson Paak, because they're working on, I think the goal was to work on a joint project, and they have enough to make that project come out, and there's some fire songs, and they put them together so easily. But I hope the world gets to hear those because they're amazing. But Cut 'Em In happened in the process of doing like all these other songs. He was just in there and Hit was playing them beats, and he like turned this beat on, and it was this sample that I made like started it off, and I'm like, oh, I was like surprised that he had used it. The drums were just going crazy. G-Rai, shout out G-Rai as well. He added, his sauce to the production, and Anderson just gravitated towards it because it just had that soul, but like still some kind of like edge to it. And he's one of those artists, like, he knows what he wants to do immediately. Honestly, when he was when he was going in, I was like, I don't know if I'm seeing it. Like, I'm interested to see how this turns out, because it was just one of those ones I couldn't figure out where he was gonna go with it. He just killed it. Like, he just attacked it like a rapper, like not his like melodic side, but still with the melody. But he just attacked the song like in such a way that you could tell like he's never intimidated by a beat. He's never intimidated by any kind of process or anything like that. My boy Sonny was there. He was helping write the record. It was just a fun session, because if you ever work with Anderson, like, you could tell him to say anything and it's gonna sound good. So especially if you got some lyrics that are like interesting or making people think or laugh, like, and then you add his voice to it and the way he delivers things, it's like unstoppable. Everything just seems like it's going right. And so they finished that song. And I remember, like, we had added like all these drops to the beat, like, while he was doing it, and everybody wasn't sure, because like this was in the era of like putting drops in beats was like corny. But if for some reason it worked in this record, it was almost like an old school little throwback type thing, and you hear a lot of those drops and stuff in how the song ended up. And then so we all went home, and at the end of the trip, I was out there for like a week. Hit was like, listen to this, and then he played the Rick Ross verse on there. I didn't know that they were gonna do like the single and the video and all that stuff. Like, I was pleasantly surprised that they dropped that song as like a single as thoroughly as they did. This song has been in so many different commercials and movies, and it's just one of those ones, like, I got to be attached to it, but the talent pool that was around that song just took it to like a whole other stratosphere. And definitely one of my favorite like records that I got to work on. All right, so this is the sample for the song "Cut 'Em In," Anderson Paak and Rick Ross. And this was probably the oldest one out of all these breakdowns I'll do. This is like one of the first loops I ever created, I think. And my arrangement is just wild. Like, I don't know why I was doing it like this. Basically, I would just put everything into one pattern, like the most busy one, and then copy it into all these patterns, and then just take out the pieces that I didn't want instead of doing it the smart way. So, yeah, let's see. I had to replay some of these because I didn't have the same plugins, but let's see where we start. So I'm hearing this simple organ, set the vibe. I got a kick coming from this like drum break, it sounds like. And it's just hitting this guy. Simple. And then we're hearing this bass. A little distortion on it. I think probably the best musical part to this is just that turnaround. So it's like really plain and boring. Just kind of lull you to sleep until there's like a cool turnaround that comes in on this pattern. I guess it's just one chord. Hold on, let me try this again. And I mean, it's so slow and it's just dragging compared to like, the song we actually know. But I think maybe that allowed for some space in the mind of Hit and G-Rod to like speed it up and give it some more energy, because there's a vibe and there's that like soulful funk weird vibe to it. But when I'm listening to it now, it just feels so slow and dragging. So I brought in this pattern and bring in a guitar. Some processing over here. A lot of FL plugins, really. Yeah, I played it, so that's why it sounds like that, because I played it. The horn parts are kind of interesting. These gotta come from. Yeah, like they came from like this old horn pack from like forever ago. But I can keep going back to it and chopping out little parts that make sense for any beat. But because they sound real. Probably because they are real. Where we at? So it gets a little busier here. Bring everything back in. Pattern says, turn around. That's kind of the most unique part, is that turnaround. And then I like how it goes like from that busier section down to just this like it's just like an octave piano. Everything just keeps hammering on that original melody. Like every sound is doing the same thing. And I feel like when you do that, if you keep reinforcing the melody, it sort of makes it seem like there's like a gang of people all agreeing on the same thing. And I think like subconsciously you feel like it's more right if you hear more people playing the same thing. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Same turnaround. Slow. I got this guy down here. Looks like a clap. I probably like just recorded it and added some phase and some reverb too. And it kind of just chills out at the end. But just the vibe and the energy of this to what it turned into just blows my mind, because it's just way too mellow and slow, and it turned into like such a high energy song. So yeah, shout out everybody involved in that. Like this was one of my favorite songs to work on. Appreciate y'all for watching How I Made. If you want to hear more loops like this, go download the Melody app. Peace.